There's no way that I can forget Banana 30. Can't leave home without that. So the piece that broke last night, Noah's got it right here. There's a bolt that goes in the end of this little stub and a washer, and it holds it in there. This is where the head folds. This piece here comes down and around, and this is what locks your driveline in to drive your wing. The bolt last night when I folded, this bolt was in there and it just come out on the ground. I spent a little time treasure hunting and I found it. So we're going to get back together and put blue Loctite on it. Going to blow the machine off while we've got a frost. You can see what accumulates, and that's what causes fires. So we'll clean all this off. We'll pull this filter out, clean it. And as we walk around, we got the fuel trailer, got our little homemade def set up here. Hose reel, pump. Our fuel tank on the John Deere is right up there. We're going to check fluids. Also pull the engine air filter. We'll check our clean grain elevator, chains, and all our belts. Blow it off real good with the leaf blower. Will be a new combine again. John Deere uses a steel tank. We've talked about it before. 330 gallons. We'll run a big day on that. Our def is right here at the side. And they color code it with a blue. You don't want to put diesel fuel in there. That makes for a bad day. We have a fuel tank in the back of a pickup truck as well, and we use it sometimes when the fuel trailer's tied up. One time I came with it to top up. I hopped down, got on the phone, left this in, and drove away. Luckily it was an empty tank, but it pulled that tank right out of the back of the truck, and we had to fix that. So getting towards the end of harvest, all of us are starting to fumble a little bit, so we're all going to slow down, run a pace so we can get to the finish line. This screen, it's got a brush here. This pivots and keeps all your radiators, your oil coolers, tries to keep those fairly clean. We still blow those out as well. Seems like it works pretty well. I know we had a Massey combine and it's an Agco. Of course, it had the V-Cool set up and it would reverse the fan and blow the dirt out. That was always real handy. Didn't have to clean it a lot, but this, here and there, but it's not bad. It really keeps itself fairly clean. John Deere's got a system of blowing air around, don't know what they call that. But they filter the air and then it's compressed and it blows around, just trying to keep the area clean. It does a really good job. You know, older combines have always had a lot of buildup up here. The John Deere, when it runs, there's a lot of air that comes through here, helps keep this clean, and I'm sure that helps. This is a really cool property. The bean field, there's 106 acres of beans there. And then there's an 80 back in there, 18 here. It's got a few fence rows in it, but not bad. It's very highly productive. We really love farming here. We're gonna have a lot of footage from here. This is where we pulled in last night. We just cleared this out. This did 232, which is really good. We did deep rip this. We ran the disc on it just to smooth it up. When we grain cart, it's always soft here. We had it rutted up, it needed attention, so we fixed that. Man, Mean Green, you're gonna need a bath. Check our oil. See there, we're in good shape. Make sure I didn't dip it in any dirt. Our fuel just kicked off. You always check your fluids, look for leaks, things of that nature. Took the filter out, air filter, gonna blow it off. Do that, we fire up the generator air compressor. Gonna make the dust fly. A good air filter blower knows where the wind is. And he works it to his advantage. Well, our case gets really good DEF mileage. Bro had his way with it, and it seems like the mileage has went up ever since. We hardly ever fill it with DEF. You know, we got our shaft fixed. We gave the combine a service, blew it off. I'm gonna wipe my windows off a little better. This just come out. Allowed this shaft to slip. The splines got messed up on the way out. Heck of a vibration as it come out of there. Scared me, but no harm, no foul. We'll get back to work. They're greasing the grain cart. The auger, the fold, bearings. We do it weekly. Sometimes a little more. So there's 57 acres to go back here at the back. Grain cart's got a lot of driving today. We're down to 2 trucks because Poet's getting a little bit of a line. We've determined there's 80 semi-loads to finish us. We have room for maybe 25 of those, so logistics is coming into play to be able to finish. Once again, the combine is not the holdup. Won't mind my office, it's a little dirty in here. We're holding a 220, which is really good here. I've been around a lot of trees and things. Moisture's down. So we've moved far away from our bin yesterday, and this corn's dry enough to go in, but we're at opposite ends of the operation. We're gonna probably start diverting trucks, set an auger down there, and start filling this 17.5 corn into that bin, at least 11 to 12 loads of it. In case you're wondering, the bin I'm talking about, the field we were in yesterday had a 30-foot bin, and it's remote. We rent that bin, and we wanted to put the corn in that field in there, and it didn't work out that way. It's too wet, so now we've got the corn gone there. We're gonna haul some in. Not a big deal, just adds a little bit of trucking to the thing. So my head doesn't fold. It's got a latch right here. I've loosened this, and I've got a bar, and I'm just gonna push a little oil out of there. With that latch, it gets out of cycle, and then we'll let the head latch. That'll let us latch. I'll tighten that line back up. Just had to let a little oil come out, and now we'll work. We're all opened up. Makes it nice to start the day. Long rows, we're gonna make a lot of bushels. The bin we're wanting to fill, like we talked earlier, is a little, it's like 11 to 12,000 bushel bin, roughly. So the trucks will be prioritizing that with these 17.5 bushels. 17.5% has been our driest of the year. end rows off the long rows. We split this field, so we've got beans next door, and they've been harvested, so it's real easy to do the end row. When we're in the rougher terrain, we sometimes can't use the cart as much, which takes more time. When we are in these fields, they're a little smoother. We dump on the run no matter where we're at, just to make it go faster. Okay, we just cleaned out at the washout. I'm gonna raise it back off a little bit. She's going on past. We can bang the alder off the grain cart, and it's hard to judge. It happens so fast. If you're full, you're sinking on the floaters. Kind of see how deep that is maybe on the video. Probably doesn't do it justice, but. So after we did that, she'll follow me on down to the other end. The reason she follows down, I have to clean out before I turn around, or I can't make it back. And you always want to be full of where you can dump, so it's on your left side, because you can't dump on your right side. So you have to kind of plan things that way. So that's our thought process now. She knows I won't be dumping for most of the pass until we get onto the back, because we just cleaned out. And once again, we cleaned out just so, you know, the cart would be here. When you dip, it just it hits the cart. And we've got by with it so far, but we just choose not to put ourselves in that position. So here, we'll pick her up here in just a minute. Now we're picking her up. We can resume dumping. Corn's averaging 232 and it's climbing. Really pleased with that. This is a V2P, so it's a double stack corn. Let's see, 6374, found it on the monitor. It's a Bex 6374. Now we'll go on to the end and clean out, and then that lets me get back to start this process over again. That's what we do every pass, or every round. Down and back is a round. Pass is just one way. So we do one pass not dumping and one pass with dumping per round. It gets confusing, doesn't it? So as of today, which I'm sure this is being edited for later, I got behind on some of the footage. Thought, you know, we're getting really, it's getting tired, getting close to the end, so some of it's kind of getting delayed, but catch it up first rain out and try to do some multi-video releases. As you're going to see, that's what this is. So as our harvest footage obviously is going to slow, we'll have other things we'll be doing, take you guys along for the ride. I'll try to do weekly videos at that point. Be watching for our shorts. I'm going to have to really work on those this winter. In the off season, I've got a lot of older footage. Some of it's got music with it, and the things that do, I have to add music over the top of it in order to use the footage. You'll be able to tell that as soon as you see music in the background. You know that, hey, he's got some older footage and it had music or something copyrighted in the background and I had to adjust. I'll try not to make that too annoying. And as we accumulate more of the shorts, we'll have some of our shop time. We're looking at a full planting season. We fly drones. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Got some older videos, pulling tile plow with a dozer, running a track hoe. Be looking for all that content this winter. We'll also do videos on our equipment, and I'll walk you through all the things I'm thinking on the equipment, because there's a lot that goes into this. Our farm was built on running some of the different brands, different colors. Wherever the deal's at, we go. We're very flexible on machinery. We tend to get things, we try to find auction finds and cheaper things, and if we're spending, a lot of times we're spending on our farm ground and trying to maximize on our equipment to do so. That's kind of our theme, if you call it. And while I have to be somewhat cautious, I'd like to share a lot of information with you guys. When we're updating equipment, we'll talk about in advance. Let's look at the things that we're thinking. Why we're thinking this way? What kind of direction do we want to go? And I want to try to share that stuff along the way best I can. I'm learning on the fly, so bear with me. But hopefully our content quality goes up. I'm going to work a little harder at it and look for that in the future. Asleep while you're shelling.
Now that we're all back in my place, we probably don't really need that tough, dude.
Don't want to mow into that or shell into that. don't ask. More cab corn. While we're up here, let's take a look around. So the bean field I talked about behind us. Last night we were on the other side of the woods. There's 18 acres over there. This is a nice big field back here. We have that much to go. That is 7 acres, believe it or not, because of the long rows. These long rows, high yield corn, grain cart and the trucks are really getting it poured to them today. We're starting to run out of room, and they're having to drive further to fill a remote bin. We're also drying corn because we're topping off a bin. So we've got one of the trucks diverted there, and the other 2 trucks are going down to fill that remote bin. They'll get a chance to catch up. I'm hitting 33, a 23, and a 5. So multiple fields. The 23 is actually split. So it'll take me a little time to open those up. Now let my trucks and grain cart catch up and get a little break. Final 5 rows. And we get to move to the next one. It's been a fun field to run. Long rows. Makes you feel like you get a lot done in a day. Oh, just a little more. We don't want to mess even in there. And voila. Ready to go to the next one. My grain cart is ready to be out of here. It's kind of a rough ride. We have to run perpendicular to the row versus running with the row. Makes for a rough ride. Got moved over. I've got the ends off of a 33 acres. Left the first 12, going for my second. Or picking those up, went for my second set of 12. Just like we do when we're opening up. So far, seeing this is a dry as well, a little under 18%, which we haven't had that all year, so we'll take it. And we're running it directly in a bin with an air floor, making use of another bin that we were in. Always nice to get it opened up before it gets dark. Our truck's parked here. Opening up a smaller fields, letting the trucks catch back up, let the guys have a little time to eat. And we're ready to set in for the night. Got 3 fields all close together. We need to knock them out. This one's shorter rows. With it having the shorter rows, we can go down and back and hold it. But the third pass we need to be dumping. So to do 3 passes, you end up on either end. So every other pass will make that road we talked about. We island off. And when we island off, that allows us to continue to dump. So we will dump going this way, and then the next time going that way on the road. I'll show you a little bit about it again. I know we talk about it quite a bit, but it's a big part of the corn harvest, just making sure you keep the corn sheller running as long as the combine runs and the dryer's running. Those are the 2 things. That's all you can do. Dust is really hanging around. I turn, I know it's hard to see for a good little bit. When the air gets heavy, usually the dust kind of lingers. It's not going to be windy. Here in Rain Friday. Today is a Tuesday. With what we have left, I don't know if we can make that or not. We'd like to be done before it rained again. Every time it rains, it gets everything dirty, flooded, nasty. Wet grain's just not fun to deal with, and you have that everywhere every time it rains at home. So getting done on time will allow us to clean a few things up and not fight that one more time. But if we don't make it, we don't make it. On the run, utilizing the island off method. Really works great on the GPS, helps you line up. Be awfully hard to count 12 rows. Keeps our grain cart rolling. So we'll dump going this way. She'll wait on this end where we stop. And then when we get full again, we'll be where she's at waiting, and we'll dump the other way and complete the process. We'll do that across the field until we're done. Shows we got 20 acres to go. So we're chug-a-lugging around 4 miles an hour, just watching. I knew there was one somewhere, but I just found a big hole that'll have to be fixed. Stop just in time. Look at those fancy loading skills. Not really, I knew I had plenty of room. Don't let me kid you. I've done a lot of spilling in my time. Couldn't see much. Wow. Another one is formed right there, just out of nowhere. That's why I cleaned the head off. Perfect timing. That's always a welcome sight. More trucks pulling up. We caught them for a few minutes, but they're catching us back. Being a little further from home, we ran 4 trucks today. When we're close to home, 3 keeps up just because we dump fast for the most part. But we always have that other one just in case, and it was used today. Had some long rows, some high yield corn, still yielding good, just a smaller area. Shows we've got 12 acres, and we'll be moving down the road to the next one. Wow, that's a deep one. Dangers everywhere. Whew. On to the next one. The truckers are patiently waiting. It takes a little time to open up. We have to do a move down the road. Smaller field, yielding good. It just takes a while to make room. It's a party over here. Trucks got me. They're all waiting. We just got a little bit left here. And there's a ditch right here, and we got this other side. And then we got another one up the road. We would be headed back towards home base. Yields are holding strong. Still that same hybrid 6374. Seems like a really nice hybrid. I was close to shelling the neighbor's corn. I did that in this exact field a few years ago. Had to call him and tell him to take a few rows of mine. I left. You get tired, it gets late, and it's easy to mistake your property lines. Have to fold up to go to the other side we were talking about. There's a little bridge here. I was going to attempt it. My stalk stompers want to hit. The electric line's on the other side of the road, though, so I don't have to hold my hopper. Before the folding head, we would have to take the head off just to move across the bridge and then put it back on. And that's kind of a pain. This is not bad. Well, we're not going to get it finished, but we're close. The main thing is we're getting closer to home. We have a couple fields to look forward to. One of them's another big property, 213 acres, so rolls on one part, highly productive on another, so it's pretty cool. It's coming up. And then also we farm for the Poet ethanol plant. We're north of the plant. Have some footage in that field, I'm sure. So we have those to look forward to. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, help me out. It looks like that's helping or working out pretty well. So thanks for support. Have a good one.